Hey you guys, what is up? It's your boy Ken. I'm back at it again with a new video. I want to talk about NXT. Now moving to Tuesday nights. Just kind of get my quick thoughts on NXT. This is, well, as of yesterday, this would have been week 3 since NXT moved to Tuesday nights. And I thought about doing maybe weekly reviews, but I kind of wanted to kind of see where NXT will be going moving forward now that they're on a new night. And I gotta say, so far so good. I'd say the first their debut on Tuesday night was, in my opinion, one of the best 2-hour shows of NXT that they've had in a while. Their debut Tuesday night episode was really good. We had Karrion Kross coming out and making his declaration as the new NXT champion. We had a great match with Santino Fantasma and Kushida, with Kushida winning the Cruiserweight Championship. What else did we have that night? We had a good mixed tag main event. Which was alright with the way, but it was a really good show. It really, NXT really felt like it was getting its niche back. It was finding its groove. NXT was feeling like there was a new renewed energy within NXT, the show, with some new faces, some new pushes, and it like I said, the best way I can describe it is it felt like renewed energy. So far the shows have been great. I thought week 2 of their new night, I really wasn't a fan of. There was one thing I got out of it that I thought was interesting, but the rest of the show I thought was kind of lackluster. Last night's show I thought was really good and entertaining. And their ratings have increased as well. I know in their first night they got 800,000 views. Then on week 2, they got 845,000 views. So they're definitely, I don't know what the rating is for today. I probably should have looked, but I don't think it's out yet, at least right now. But NXT has been doing pretty well. And I think it's really beneficial having NXT Tuesday coming after Raw. Now, from a business standpoint, as Triple H pointed out, they'll get those Raw audience that'll kind of dip over and lead into NXT, which is true. But from a wrestling fan's perspective, and I don't even watch Raw anymore for 3 hours. I did 1 or 2 times, and my God, I regretted it recently. Post WrestleMania, I've watched for 3 hours. But despite all that, having NXT on Tuesday nights from a wrestling fan's perspective, it is just to see 3 hours of Raw. And then you flip over to Tuesday night and you watch a 2-hour NXT. It is night and day. I mean, really, it is night and day. Outside of one show being an hour longer than the other, it is just night and day. I mean, it's nothing new because we all knew this. NXT has been WWE's best wrestling brand for the last 7 years, but it's just night and day, and just how you watch Raw and you see what they do with their characters and their superstars and whatever, and then you go to NXT the next night and you look at how the wrestlers there are booked and the matches that they have, and it's where's the disconnect here? Now, surely you could say NXT Triple H is more hands-on, whereas Vince is more hands-on everything else. But it's a loss in translation. It's these are 2 companies or 2 brands that are under the same company. There's something missing here, lost in translation, where one show gets it right and another show just gets it absolutely wrong, and has been for, Jesus Christ, you could say the last 10 years. It's just, I don't get it. I don't get it, at all. But regardless of the fact, definitely NXT moving to Tuesdays has definitely benefited, I feel, the their audience. And I just think for wrestling as a whole, because when NXT was running head to head with AEW, I was watching AEW live, and I would catch NXT the next day on my DVR recordings. So not splitting that audience in half, I think is beneficial. And like I said, from the first night that they came on Tuesday, it felt like a renewed energy that was in NXT, like, from, the Undisputed Era breaking up and new faces as champions and stuff. Oh, and I forgot, there was even a great moment, too, with the NXT Women's Champion, and then you had Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair come out as the Raw and SmackDown's champion, and they all had, like, a moment there. That was a really good segment as well on their debut night. So, I mean, like I said, just some really, really good stuff. I'm really feeling hopeful for NXT again. I really feel like because even when NXT went head to head with AEW, NXT just kind of felt like they were losing their spark, because you knew why NXT was on Wednesday nights live on television. It was to oppose AEW, and it just felt like when that was their main focus, to me, NXT didn't feel as special. To me, NXT, I felt kind of lost focus. Yes, they were still having good wrestling shows and everything else, but it really felt like they weren't the NXT that they once were, until we got to TakeOver, Stand and Deliver, nights 1 and 2, from nights 1 and 2 of TakeOver Deliver, and since then immediately going over to a new night. I feel like NXT is on fire again. I feel like they're refocused. I feel like they have a new goal that has nothing to do with NXT. I'm sorry, AEW, and I'm excited for it, and I'm excited to see, NXT get that shot in the arm that it needs, and that rejuvenated energy. Because there's definitely some people I feel like on the roster that's been there a little bit too long as well, where I think that also kind of plays maybe into NXT's, you could say, maybe staleness, because there's always been NXT has always been a system that has conditioned us to where people go there, learn their craft, harnessed it, perfect it, whatever, then they move on. But over the last, like, maybe 4 years, a lot of those guys and girls, guys in particular, have really stayed in NXT, I think, a little bit too long. Granted, some of them, like Tommaso Ciampa and maybe even Gargano, I think, too, to an effect, have stated they don't want to go up to the main roster, that they want to stay in NXT. If they go to the main roster, at least Ciampa said this, he'll quit or he'll retire, or whatever the case. So there are some people that, they look at the main product, and that's a shame to WWE, that you have people in your developmental brand that are saying, we see the product, we see people who graduate from the NXT system going to these main shows, they don't do anything, or they sit in catering, whatever the case may be. I'm going to just stay here. I'm going to stay here, and I'm going to hog and hold on to my spot. So I get, from a talent perspective, why they would want to stay in NXT and not be so eager to go up to Raw or SmackDown. But at the same token, too, I think, I don't want to say there's selfishness per se, but like by them doing that and kind of like pigeonholing their spot in NXT, they're kind of, other people aren't really allowed to elevate, or you don't really get that at that point NXT kind of ends up getting that same issues that Raw or SmackDown would have, where it's always the same, like 2 or 3 people constantly you see in the main event. There's rarely like any wiggle room for new fresh faces stepping up and filling those spots or whatever. So I think NXT has been great for Tuesday nights. I think Tuesday night's the right night for NXT. You guys let me know what you're thinking in the box below. What are your thoughts on NXT so far? Do you feel like the product has changed a little bit, like I have, since going to a new night, or do you think it's just still kind of the same? I want to hear your thoughts in the box below. Comment, subscribe. Peace.